Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News, an Indian perspective on All India Radio. This is Juliet Arakel bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring to you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. The headlines. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India working to eradicate tuberculosis by 2025. G20 Research and Innovation Initiative meet in Assam calls for resource-efficient and sustainable circular bioeconomy. Second meeting of Framework Working Group of G20 Finance Track begins in Chennai. India says all necessary actions to be taken to bring back fugitive Zakir Naik. Pakistan government forms joint investigation team to probe cases against PTI chief Imran Khan. US conducts retaliatory airstrikes in Syria against deadly drone attack. India's Rudraksh Balasaheb Patil wins bronze medal in 10-meter air rifle event of ISSF World Cup Shooting Championship in Bhopal. And in boxing, 4 Indian boxers enter finals in Women's World Boxing Championships in New Delhi. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday said India is now working on eradicating tuberculosis by 2025, 5 years ahead of the global target of 2030. Mr. Modi was addressing the One World TB Summit at his parliamentary constituency, Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, on the occasion of World Tuberculosis Day. He also launched various initiatives including the TB Mukt Panchayat, the official pan-India rollout of a shorter TB preventive treatment, the family-centric care model for TB, and a release of India's annual TB Report 2023. He said continuous efforts of the government along with public participation resulted in the decline in the number of TB patients in the country.
इस टीबी मुक्त पंचायत में हर गांव के चुने हुए जनप्रतिनिधि मिलकर के संकल्प करेंगे कि अब हमारे गांव में एक भी टीबी का मरीज नहीं रहेगा। उनको हम स्वस्थ करके रहेंगे। हम टीबी की रोकथाम के लिए 6 महीने के कोर्स की जगह केवल 3 महीने का ट्रीटमेंट भी शुरू कर रहे हैं। अब नई व्यवस्था में मरीज को हफ्ते में केवल 1 बार दवा लेनी होगी। टीबी मुक्त होने के लिए भारत टेक्नोलॉजी का भी ज्यादा से ज्यादा इस्तेमाल कर रहा है।
Referring to the capacity and health infrastructure enhancement during the pandemic, the Prime Minister highlighted the high use of trace, test, track, treat and technology in the fight against tuberculosis. Talking about the achievements in the fight against TB, he said on Friday, 80% of the drugs used in the treatment of tuberculosis are being made in India. The number of laboratories has been increased and the TB patients have been brought under the ambit of the Ayushman Bharat scheme. The Prime Minister highlighted that as a country, the reflection of India's ideology can be seen in the spirit of Vasudev Kutumbakam. He noted that as the G20 President, India chose the theme of One Family, One World, One Future based on such beliefs. The Prime Minister said sometime back, India had also taken the initiative to take forward the vision of One Earth, One Health. And now, through One World TB Summit, India is fulfilling another pledge of global good. On the occasion, Mr. Modi also awarded select states and districts for their progress towards ending TB. The G20 Research and Innovation Initiative Gathering RIIG conference under India's presidency concluded at Dibrugarh in Assam on Friday. The meeting deliberated on ways towards building a sustainable and circular bioeconomy. Speaking at the event, Secretary in Department of Science and Technology, Dr. S. Chandrasekhar said, the future of the Industrial Revolution is likely to be around circular economy and bioeconomy model. The Secretary informed that at the conference, participating countries deliberated to aspire for a net zero country and to create a circular bioeconomy that is resource efficient and sustainable. Dr. Chandrasekhar said that circular economy and bioeconomy are related, and instead of looking at them as separate entities, we should aim for mutually beneficial dynamic collaboration between them so they can complement each other. He said that the integration of circular economy and bioeconomy requires a deep understanding of how resources can be used to get the best advantage for sustainable and affordable economic growth. 103 delegates from G20 member countries, 9 guest countries, and international organizations, along with invited participants from the scientific community, attended the conference on Friday. The conference has come at a time when sustainable and circular bioeconomy is a priority for many countries. It is increasingly recognized as an important approach for achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement on climate change. A circular bioeconomy can help reduce carbon emissions, improve resource efficiency, and create economic opportunities while protecting the environment. The second meeting of the Framework Working Group of the G20 Finance Track began in Chennai on Friday. The first session was on the global economic situation and the presentation from various countries on the financial situation. The second session will be on inflation and risk issues. Speaking to the media, UNCTAD representative from Switzerland, Alessandro Federico Izurita Canova, said that the deliberations were on the global economic outlook and intricate financial risks like responses of central banks to inflationary pressures and monetary policies trying to control inflation. Over 80 delegates from G20 member countries and various international and regional organizations are participating in the meeting. The outcome of the discussions of the Framework Working Group of the G20 Finance Track will be recommended to the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors who will be meeting in Washington, D.C. on the 12th and 13th of April this year. The first meeting of the Trade and Investment Working Group under India's G20 presidency will be held in Mumbai from Tuesday. Over 100 delegates from G20 member countries, invitee countries, regional groupings and international organizations will engage in deliberations to accelerate global trade and investments. The 3-day meeting will discuss and debate a diverse range of issues. The first day, dedicated to trade finance, will see 2 panel discussions. The topics will be role of banks and financial institutions and export credit agencies in closing the trade finance gap, and how digitization and fintech solutions can improve access to trade finance. Union Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal will attend the second day's meeting, where the group will deliberate on how trade can ensure growth and prosperity and how to build resilient global value chains. On a concluding day, the group will focus on how to integrate MSMEs into global trade and build efficient logistics for trade. The Indian government on Friday reiterated that it will take all necessary measures to bring back televangelist Zakir Naik and have him face justice in India. Briefing media in New Delhi, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said Zakir Naik is an accused in numerous cases in India and he is a fugitive from justice. He said MEA has taken up the matter with the government of Oman and Oman authorities. Mr. Bagchi was replying to a query on Naik's visit to Oman.
Zakir Naik is an accused in numerous cases in India. He is a fugitive from justice. We have taken up the matter with the government of Oman, with Oman authorities, and we will continue to take all necessary measures to bring him to face justice in India.
Zakir Naik fled India in 2016 amid charges of spreading hatred and money laundering. NIA had filed a complaint against him, accusing him of promoting religious hatred and other unlawful activities. The Home Ministry declared Zakir Naik's Islamic Research Foundation unlawful last year. India on Friday said it would like to see action against those who attacked the Indian consulate in San Francisco and the Indian mission in London more than just assurance. Briefing media in New Delhi, MEA spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said India had strongly taken up the vandalization incidents with the US and UK governments. He said, "We expect that host governments will take action to identify and prosecute all those involved and also take necessary actions to prevent the recurrence of such incidents."
We've strongly taken up the matter of vandalization and attacks on our missions there, posts there, and you would have also seen our statements that we have put out in this regard. Let me just say we expect that host governments will take action to identify and prosecute all those involved and also take necessary measures to prevent the recurrence of such incidents.
Bagchi said India hoped that the host governments provide full and adequate protection to Indian missions and to the personnel working there. The government had lodged a strong protest and called on the British government to ensure adequate security at the Indian High Commission. India had also summoned the British Deputy High Commissioner and demanded an explanation for the complete absence of security. In today's Hotspots section, we bring you a news commentary on Bharat 6G Vision, telecom technology, a medium to empower people.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the new International Telecommunication Union ITU Area Office and Innovation Centre in India. The Prime Minister also unveiled the Bharat 6G Vision document and launched the 6G R&D test bed. He also launched the Call Before You Dig app. ITU is the United Nations Specialized Agency for Information and Communication Technologies. India signed a host country agreement in March 2022 with ITU for the establishment of Area Office. It will serve India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Afghanistan and Iran, enhancing coordination among nations and fostering mutually beneficial economic cooperation in the region. Ms. Doreen Bogdan-Martin, Secretary-General of the International Telecommunication Union, thanked the Prime Minister for helping develop the new ITU Office and Innovation Centre in India, which marks a new chapter in the long history of India and ITU. The Prime Minister has put India as a leader on the digital forefront of tech innovations and adoptions with game-changing initiatives like Aadhaar, UPI, among others, that have turned India into a knowledge-based economy. Prime Minister Modi conveyed his greetings on the occasion of Vikram Samvat 2080. Observing the diversity of India and the presence of various calendars that are prevalent for centuries, the Prime Minister gave examples of the Malayalam calendar and Tamil calendar and said that the Vikram Samvat calendar has been ongoing since 2080 years. He noted that the Gregorian calendar reads 2023 at present, but Vikram Samvat began 57 years prior to that. He expressed delight that a new beginning is taking place in the telecom sector of India on this auspicious day, where the Area Office and Innovation Centre of ITU is being inaugurated. He also noted that the 6G test bed and the vision document related to this technology have been unveiled, which will not only usher new energy in digital India but also provide solutions and innovations for the global south. Mr. Modi said India's capabilities, innovation culture, infrastructure, skilled and innovative manpower and its favourable policy environment are the basis of the world's expectations. India has two key strengths, trust and scale. We cannot take technology to all corners without trust and scale. The entire world is talking about India's efforts in this direction, he said. The Prime Minister observed that India's strides in this direction have become a matter of discussion all around the world. Mr. Modi informed that India is now the most connected democracy in the world, with more than 100 crore mobile connections, and credited this transformation to the availability of cheap smartphones and data. More than 800 crore digital payments are made every month in India through UPI, he said. He further added that more than 7 crore e-authentications take place in India every day. He also informed that more than 220 crore vaccine doses were administered through the CoWIN platform in India. In the past few years, the Prime Minister said India has transferred more than 28 lakh crore rupees to the bank accounts of its citizens via direct benefit transfers. He informed that India has successfully managed to open more bank accounts than the entire population of the USA through the Jan Dhan Yojana, which were later authenticated through unique digital identity or Aadhaar and helped in connecting more than 100 crore people through the mobile phone. Telecom technology for India is not a mode of power but a mission to empower, the Prime Minister remarked. He noted that digital technology is universal in India and accessible to everyone, underlining that digital inclusion has happened on a large scale in India in the last few years. The Prime Minister mentioned that broadband connectivity had 60 million users in India before 2014, but that number has gone up to more than 800 million today. He further added that the number of internet connections in India is more than 85 crores compared to 25 crores before 2014. Referring to the rural upsurge of internet use in India, the Prime Minister informed that the number of internet users in the villages has surpassed the urban areas, indicating that digital power has reached every nook and corner of the country. He informed that 25 lakh kilometers of optical fibre has been laid in India by the government and private sector in the last 9 years. 2 lakh Gram Panchayats have been connected by optical fibre and 5 lakh common service centres are giving digital services, leading to a situation where the digital economy is expanding 2.5 times faster than the rest of the economy, Mr. Modi said. The Prime Minister said today's India is rapidly moving towards the next step of the digital revolution. India is the country with the fastest 5G rollout in the world, as 5G services have been rolled out in more than 125 cities in just 120 days, and 5G services have reached approximately 350 districts in the country. Throwing light on India's confidence, the Prime Minister said India is discussing 6G within 6 months of the 5G rollout. The Prime Minister highlighted the pace of India's development and expressed the belief that this centre of ITU will play an important role. This decade is India's tech aid. India's telecom and digital model is smooth, secure and transparent, and all the friendly countries of South Asia can take advantage of this, the Prime Minister concluded.
This is All India Radio, giving you the world news. In Pakistan, a high-level joint investigation team, JIT, has been formed to look into 4 cases filed against Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chairman Imran Khan and his supporters for allegedly attacking courts and law enforcement, committing vandalism and obstructing the operation of the court. The JIT is spearheaded by Additional Inspector General of Police, Special Branch, Punjab Zulfikar Hamid, comprising representatives of Inter-Services Intelligence, Intelligence Bureau, Military Intelligence and DIG Headquarters, Islamabad, Awais Ahmad. Interior Minister Rana Sanalullah said that JIT has been given the responsibility of looking into the cases and that it will finish its inquiries in 14 days and submit a challan to the courts. Notably, the supporters of the PTI forced their way into the judicial complex recently, broke down the main gate and vandalized the courts. Later, the Islamabad police filed an FIR including terrorism charges against Khan and dozens of PTI leaders. The U.S. military carried out multiple airstrikes in Syria on Thursday night against Iran-aligned groups that it blamed for a drone attack that killed an American contractor and injured 5 American troops. Both the attack on U.S. personnel and the retaliation were disclosed by the Pentagon late on Thursday. The military said the U.S. intelligence community assessed that the one-way attack drone was Iranian in origin. Although U.S. forces stationed in Syria have been targeted by drones before, fatalities are extremely rare. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said that the retaliatory strikes were carried out at the direction of President Joe Biden and targeted facilities used by groups affiliated with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a group that monitors the war in Syria, said the U.S. strikes had left 8 pro-Iranian fighters dead in Syria. Sri Lanka has decided to divest its stake in 7 state-owned enterprises. Sri Lanka President Ranil Wickremesinghe said the state has no business engaging in business and cited India's example of divesting from public sector undertakings. He said that the crisis-hit island nation is trying to embark on a path of recovery and rapid development, and Sri Lanka must follow India's example. He added that Sri Lanka has been spending more on the state-run Ceylon Electricity Board and the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation than on education. North Korea has claimed to test an underwater drone capable of carrying a nuclear warhead that could create a radioactive tsunami. A report from the state-run Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, said that the drone called the Unmanned Underwater Nuclear Attack Craft HALE was tested from the 21st of March to the 23rd. The report claims that the drone cruised in waters off the country's east coast for more than 59 hours before its test warhead was detonated on Thursday afternoon. The KCNA report said that the underwater nuclear strategic weapon is developed to steadily infiltrate into operational waters and create a super-scale radioactive tsunami through underwater explosion to destroy naval striker groups and major operational ports of the enemy. The weapon has been in development phase since 2012 and has undergone more than 50 tests in the past 2 years. The US and Canada have reached an agreement to turn away asylum seekers at unofficial border crossings. The accord is expected to allow officials on both sides of the border to turn back such asylum seekers heading in either direction. The move is part of efforts to limit an influx of migrants at Roxham Road, an official crossing between New York State and the province of Quebec. The deal is an amendment to the 2004 Safe Third Country Agreement between the two sides, which requires migrants to make an asylum claim in the first safe country they reach, whether it is the US or Canada. The new arrangement would close a loophole in the Safe Third Country Agreement. On World Tuberculosis Day, the World Health Organization has called for intensified actions to eradicate the disease in the Southeast Asia region, which bears the world's highest TB burden. WHO Regional Director for Southeast Asia, Dr. Poonam Khetrapal Singh, highlighted the urgent need for countries to update new WHO recommendations and innovations, better address social and economic determinants, and improve multi-sectoral collaboration. In 2021, the region accounted for more than 45% of global TB incidents and more than half of global TB deaths. According to the WHO official release, the COVID-19 crisis has exacerbated key social and economic determinants of TB, such as poverty and undernutrition, pushing tens of millions more people in the region into extreme poverty. It is estimated that across the region, the overall impact of the crisis could lead to over 7 million additional TB cases and 1.5 million additional TB deaths between 2022 and 2026. In 2022, budget allocations for TB programs in the region reached a cumulative total of nearly $1.4 billion, almost 6% from domestic resources. United Kingdom King Charles III's state visit to Paris has been postponed amid the mass protest against the unpopular pension reforms. The king had been scheduled to arrive in France on Sunday on his first state visit as monarch before heading to Germany on Wednesday. This decision was taken by the French and British governments after a telephone exchange between the President of the Republic and the king. According to French President's office, the state visit will be rescheduled as soon as possible. Key domestic benchmark indices closed with losses of more than 0.5%. For the week, the Sensex slipped 0.8% and the Nifty fell 0.9%. A report from the Business Desk.
Sensex declined by 398 points, or 0.69%, to end around 57,527. Nifty fell by 132 points, or 0.77%, to settle at 16,945 mark. Asian markets ended in the red. Hong Kong's Hang Seng reduced by 0.7%, China's Shanghai Composite Index declined 0.6%, and South Korea's Kospi slipped by 0.4%. Singapore's Straits Times Index fell 0.1%, and Japan's Nikkei 225 ended 0.1% down. European markets were also down in intraday trade. Oil prices fell sharply after the statement by the U.S. Energy Secretary saying that refilling the strategic petroleum reserve may take several years. In intraday trade, Brent crude was trading at around $72.75 per barrel. Back home, gold prices at the multi-commodity exchange for April contracts was trading at around 59,730 rupees per 10 grams. Silver was trading at around 70,830 rupees per kilogram for May contracts when reports last came in. Arjun Chaudhary for World News All India Radio.
India's Rudraksh Patil won a bronze medal in the 10-meter air rifle event by scoring 262.2 points in the 8th ISSF World Cup Shooting Championship in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. This is Rudraksh's second medal in this World Cup. He won a bronze medal in the mixed event on Thursday, playing with his partner Narmada Raju. India's Hriday Hazarika finished 6th with a score of 208.7. India finished second with a total of 5 medals, 1 gold, 1 silver and 3 bronze. China is still at the top with a total of 8 medals. Indian boxers Nikhat Zareen, Lavlina Borgohain, Swati Bura and Neetu Ghangus have entered the finals in the Women's World Boxing Championships in New Delhi. The finals will take place on Saturday and on Sunday. With this, India is assured of at least 4 silver medals. Nikhat overpowered Colombia's Ingrid Valencia to reach the final of the 50 kg category. Lavlina Borgohain defeated China's Li Qian in the semi-final in the 75 kg category. Neetu Ghangus also advanced to the final after beating Kazakhstan's Alua Balkibekova, and Swati Bora defeated Sue Greentree of Australia in the 81 kg event. Now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. The Guardian reports Ethiopian Prime Minister appoints senior official of Tigray People's Liberation Front as head of Tigray Interim Administration. The Washington Post writes King Charles postpones first overseas visit as pension protests rock France. The Globe and Mail reports Trump created false expectation of arrest. South China Morning Post says China stepped U.S. corn purchases at start of 2023 following record agricultural imports last year. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan on Thursday announced that there will be a peace treaty between Armenia and Azerbaijan based on joint official statements adopted at the highest level. Armenia and Azerbaijan have been engaged in 2 wars since their independence. A quick look at the headlines once again. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India working to eradicate tuberculosis by 2025. G20 Research and Innovation Initiative meet in Assam calls for resource-efficient and sustainable circular bioeconomy. Second meeting of Framework Working Group of G20 Finance Track begins in Chennai. India says all necessary actions to be taken to bring back fugitive Zakir Naik. Pakistan government forms joint investigation team to probe cases against PTI chief Imran Khan. US conducts retaliatory airstrikes in Syria against deadly drone attack. India's Rudraksh Balasaheb Patil wins a bronze medal in 10-meter air rifle event of ISSF World Cup Shooting Championship in Bhopal. And in boxing, 4 Indian boxers enter finals in Women's World Boxing Championships in New Delhi. And now, before we end, let us listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan, Vaishnava Jan, by artists from Senegal. And with that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.